Hey everybody, it's Matthew here. Just letting you know that this is a session from a private campaign that's being uploaded mostly for documentation, partially for players who were not there. Um, so there's a lot of missing context here. So anyone who just stumbles across this because of YouTube, just a fair warning that you're not going to know who these people are, or why you should care, or what anything is. So it's probably not worth a watch. But I mean, I play Fire Emblem in the background, and like, if anyone gives a shit about that, I mean, it's a pretty horrendous run if you want to watch me fucking dive into the oblivion that is Fort Mang's emblem. So there's that. But for anyone else, this is from a session done a few days ago, where one of my players has a bunch of knowledge dropped on him, and it's pretty important lore stuff. So, for anyone else who might be listening, I'm not going to bother giving context for anything, so it's probably not worth your time. But for the one other person who is probably listening to this, I hope you enjoy the session, because I thought it was really good, and I think that it's enjoyable to listen to. So, with that being said, let's get into the session.
All
So,
right.
last time Austin was really quiet. Ariana's date went to shambles, and Artem had a crazy prolific dream where a bunch of crazy shit happened, and a lot of it involved Darth. It's not a good omen, and by the end of it, Artem had concluded that this was not a simple premonition, but perhaps brief dreamlike glimpses of a future that possibly could be changed if the right circumstances happen. Who knows? He saw a few different things, so it's going to be up to Artem how to interpret those things and moving forward. I'm not going to say anything. That's the whole point of prolific dreams. So, you had also talked with Halaster, and he asked you to give him some time to think on it, because it's a weird dream. Halaster does get visions of the future, but his visions are usually different from that, because what you've got definitely wasn't, in a manner of speaking, it wasn't cheap. Someone had to give something up, probably, to give you that. In addition, you also spoke with I'm trying to find his fucking name. I have so many characters. Guys, remember his name? The other admiral. Ken. It's
yeah.
Ken. Ken Don. Ken Don, the Kenku fighter, who got a nat 20 on his intelligence check and gave Artem some wisdom that may prove useful if he actually remember any of it. So, we pick up there. I don't quite remember what you were doing at the time, Ariana. I think you were just sullen.
Yeah, I was just in my room.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
You're pretty sad right now. Things aren't going your way. And Artem, I believe you had just got done talking with Ken.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything else you want to do? The day is still young. It's pretty early in the day.
I'm gonna go. Well, I don't really have anybody else to talk to.
Hi, this is editing Matthew coming in to just say, what the fuck, Mangs? 1 point of luck? Are you fucking serious? This is just where the run starts to devolve into fucking nonsense. But anyway, back to D&D.
I'm gonna go to hang out. I'm gonna go to my room to hang out. I'm gonna just or not in my room, to the main room to yeah.
You're gonna schmooze, as it were? Hang out with the crew?
I'm gonna just hang out with a bunch of people, just wait for Halaster, really. Did
Okay.
he say a couple days or a couple hours? I don't remember.
So he didn't give you a time frame. He just he said he was going to think on it. It's a lot to process. You imagine that he's much older than you, obviously. So he's been an Azamar for a lot longer, but you get the sense that this is a little more than he usually deals with, because his future visions are usually much shorter and contain a lot less detail. So, and especially with him having more limited knowledge about your situation, you don't know when or even if he's gonna be able to parse any of this information to give you anything you don't already know. So it's a big shrug on that part, because it's like a lot of that information you got was clearly something more personal that would only really be known between you or Darth, or the people who know Darth, because Darth was the center point of it and was featured very prominently. And Halaster's not someone who knows Darth super well, so you're not even sure at this point what he would be able to tell you that you don't already know.
Can I go find Darth, actually?
Yeah, when you last spoke to Darth, he said he was gonna go train. Roll a perception or investigation if you want to find where he is.
Okay. Hold on.
I'll let you roll either or. Doesn't really matter.
26.
So it's pretty easy to find him. He's on the deck, towards the bow, and he's just he's got some dummies up. He's training with, practicing his sword arm. Yes, he's there.
All right. I wanna go come talk to him.
Okay. You walk up, and he stops.
Hey.
Hi.
So, did you think about what I said? Got any ideas?
I've been trying to not think about it, honestly.
Well, great. All right.
Listen, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot. I don't want whatever you saw to happen, obviously. You saw a lot of bad things.
But then we gotta do something. You know that.
I don't know what to do, though. What can I do? I know the place where you were. Darth does that thing where, like, kind of rubs the back of his head. He's like, there's a lot I haven't said, and for good reason. But
Okay.
I will do what I can to prevent that future from happening. I mean, that's the whole reason we're all here, right? We're trying to change the future.
Yeah.
So I'll do what I can from my end, but I don't know if you should worry about it for right now. Because frankly, I don't know if there's a lot you can do to prepare for if that future even were to happen. All you can really do is train.
Well, I'd rather start doing things to prevent that now, as soon as possible.
Well, I think the obvious answer is obvious. You know, if you killed me, it probably wouldn't happen.
What the fuck are you talking about? How is that obvious at all? What? Come on.
If I'm not around, then whatever's a part of that dream couldn't happen.
What if they raise you as undead? That'll be kind of worse. So, no thanks.
There are ceremonies you can do, clerics, that can prevent those kind of things. I don't know if any clerics on this ship have it, but we do have a Neth cleric, so It would probably be the simplest way to guarantee everyone's safety. Hi, Editing Matthew here again. This is the last time, I promise. I just wanted to point out that this was total bullshit, that our game died to a fucking 27 for exact damage. I didn't want to use the Pepsi because I wanted to conserve, because I'm a fucking hoarder, but I just want to point this out, that this was the point I should have restarted the run, but didn't because I didn't want to bother re-recording. So from here on out, I make a ton of stupid decisions because I'm casually playing this really hard game, and I don't want to hear nothing about it from nobody, alright? Fuck this game.
Well, if you think of something that can help me prevent that future, all ideas are welcome.
He nods.
I want to know as much as possible, and I know that it's not really going to change anything. Or not. This world seems to somehow throw me around anyway, but at least I will feel better.
Right. If there's anything I can tell you, I'll let you know. Oh, and if you see Ari around, you need to tell her I'm sorry.
For what?
Things went bad.
What do you mean?
I'm not really sure. I don't remember what happened, but apparently he feels bad about it.
Feel bad, schmeel bad.
He just like he looks clearly frustrated, and he just says, I apparently during the course of the night something happened and I blacked out. I don't remember what happened, but I almost died, and I had to be rushed to the infirmary.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And I don't know what happened. And then
Why would you? Is that a? She would understand. I mean, don't worry. I'm sure
Well,
I'm sure.
it's not just that. I
Oh.
told her that I didn't want anything else to happen between us.
Why would you do that?
It's complicated.
Dude,
But I-
what the fuck? What are you doing?
Think that it would probably be better if
What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about?
Dude, it's clear to everyone that you are as into her as it gets. You're making it worse for both of you.
Yeah, well, that's why it's better if the two of us just don't think of it that way.
How is that better?
She doesn't need me around.
Yes, she does.
I doubt that.
Dude, what are you talking about? Have you You cannot be this oblivious. What are you? She is just as into you as you are into her, if not more.
And that's bad.
How is that bad?
Because of what I am.
What are you? Our friend? A person who is on this ship with a dark past just like everyone else? Someone who is fighting the darkness and has to overcome their bullshit in order to do it? Just like all of us? What are you? How are you different from?
I'm a weapon. That's all I am.
Yes, and so are we. Have you seen us? You're no different from us, Darth.
I can't
man.
I can't tell you why, but there are things you don't know. And it's better that it stays that way.
I don't know. I don't know what to. I try to help you, but you seem just dead set on ruining everything for. I don't know how to help you anymore, dude. I'll see you later.
He sighs and picks his sword back up. Okay.
I'm gonna go to to my room.
Alright. You done with the day?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the next day. Artem, you have a sort of a hazy, dreamless sleep. Just contemplative. As usual, there's a lot to think about. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear of the future. Especially now. Artem, you are awoken from your slumber because you receive a sending from Halaster.
Okay.
He says, you should get ready and you should meet me on the deck as soon as possible. Please.
Alright.
You could reply back if you wanted, but...
I won't.
Okay.
I'll just get ready.
Alright, you put all your shit on.
Mm-hmm.
As you look out your window, it is, like, dark outside still.
Okay.
It is, like, early AM. Like, you don't even think the crew is up yet.
It's okay. I mean, I'll be fine, right? How many hours of sleep do you think I got?
Enough.
Okay.
Enough to be functional, but if you had just got done a fight the previous day, you would be feeling tired.
Okay.
Basically, you got just enough to complete a long rest, but not enough to have, like, fully healed from, like, a full day of combat.
Got it. Well, then I'm gonna get up and I'm put my armor on and start heading to
The deck.
to Halaster. Yep.
All right. And yeah, as you get up, you do notice that there's a distinct lack of chickens running around this place. And yeah, if you wanted to, you could peek into the crew quarters and see that everyone's still asleep.
Whatever.
Yeah, you go
Cool.
up. There's no one at the bar. There's no one in the tavern area, and you go up the stairs.
Who is operating this ship at night? Goddamn.
Well, you would know because you've been on the ship long enough. Hawk does stay up pretty late piloting the ship. He doesn't get like a ton of sleep. He maybe gets 6 hours every day. And then he locks the wheel in place and he sets the ship to either not moving or moving like crawling, basically. And then he gets up early as like everyone else, and then he continues to fly the ship.
As I've mentioned many times before, terribly inefficient, but
Well, if you guys had to get somewhere quickly, obviously there would be someone else to pilot at night, but currently there's no immediate destination you're going to. So there doesn't need to be someone on the ship 24/7. There are a few people on this ship who are qualified to operate it, but everyone would tell you that none are as good as Hawk. Hawk knows how to fly these things like no one's business. And that's why Halaster brought him personally. Instead of any of the other hundreds of pilots in Alithia. So, as you walk up the stairs from the tavern area, you see Halaster is over by the right side of the railing on the ship, looking out, and Ken is with him. And they both seem to be like idle chit-chatting. You know that today is the day that the Imperion is supposed to leave. And as you glance over, you see that all the makeshift shops have been taken down and cleared off, just so that way there's no extra debris flying if they fuck up their teleportation. I assume you're I assume you're approaching just like normally.
Yeah.
You're not trying to like sneak up on them or something like that.
Oh, dude, I'm sneaking up. I'm just kidding. Yeah. What the
I
fuck?
mean, like
First
they're both very high level. Their perceptions aren't bad, so you could try it.
No,
But
I don't. I honestly, I don't care.
it'd be funny, but like I wouldn't expect you to sneak up on them. You're not a rogue.
There's no point.
Yeah, really not. Like, they know you're coming, and like you know that they would probably see you anyway. So you walk up to them, and Halaster does turn and wave to you. He sort of waves you over. He's just like leaning on the railing.
Okay.
Did you sleep well?
All right.
Any more dreams or premonitions?
Nope. Not this time.
Think of it as a blessing.
Why?
It is strange how our gods talk to us through dreams, through prayer.
Why
It's-
wouldn't you want that?
Well, usually they only talk to you when they need something, is how it typically goes. When I get glimpses of the future, it's typically because they want me to do something about it. They want me to go to a place or to talk to a person or stop an event. It's never what you would call helpful for yourself. It's always in the pursuit of them. It's always to benefit them. Do you understand?
Well, I expected you of all people to think that what benefits your god benefits you.
And it does to an extent, but what I mean is that I wouldn't get a vision telling me that how do I explain this? It wouldn't help me in my personal endeavors, but it would help me in more substantial endeavors. Say bandits are attacking a temple, or things of that nature. Things that on the surface do benefit me, but are mostly told to me to benefit Valashi and that pantheon.
You've had to deal with bandits attacking a temple before?
It was a obviously when people donate to these temples, they don't spend all of that gold at once, and some degenerates would think that it's up for the taking, and sometimes I happen to be in the area, and it's like, hey, I could take that out with a fireball. I don't want to get into it. Ken is just kind of laughing a little bit at that. My point is that you receive something extraordinarily different. And it is quite odd for any Azamar, or people who know of the standards of Azamar, but you're not standard. You are exceptional in more ways than one.
I'm aware.
And so I wonder, truly, who really is benefiting from this? Perhaps you don't know it yet, but someone else will benefit from this knowledge. Maybe even more than you.
Well, yeah, definitely.
It's just something to think about.
Hopefully, the world,
He chuckles. He says, well, yes, that is the long-term goal, isn't it?
Correct. Can't really seem to get anything else going while the world's still at stake. So.
I would agree. But unfortunately, I do have other duties as a king. That's why I'm leaving. I understand that you might have been soon, but not now. I understand the last time I mentioned this, you had some problems with that declaration. You are upset, and I understand why. It doesn't make much sense now. Even in this weakened state, I'm still incredibly powerful, and I'm still an asset. And for me to leave now, when we've only just begun the fight, it isn't what I want. But I have a lot of responsibilities now, and I will admit that the reason I came here, I answered Joom and Macau's request. It was because deep down, I wanted one last adventure. I find the whole political business to be incredibly dull. I spent so long
Sorry, you
out. Oh, where'd I
you
cut
cut
out?
out for that one.
Where'd I cut out?
Like the last sentence.
I find all this political nonsense incredibly dull. For the longest time, I've been out on the open roads, sleeping under the stars, And then to come back and be crowned king, it just was a large change, and I've never really adjusted. If it wasn't for my brother, I wouldn't be half the king I am. I am revered by my people for my action, the actions I've taken against our neighboring countries when they seek to act aggressively. My power and the airships I created, they quell any uprising, any rebellion. So I'm known as a hero king. But as far as the decisions that benefit the people truly the most, that they don't realize, that is all my brother. And I do feel bad. I asked him to stay in this world. I asked him to stay and continue to live when he should have died, because I didn't think I could do it on my own. And I can't stay out and adventure all my life while he spends his second doing all the political nonsense and getting none of the recognition. In addition, I no longer think I can live keeping this knowledge of their goal a secret. The people need to know what they're up against. They need to know who we're fighting. And most importantly, I've crafted a theory. I think that on this judgment day that Dargol is planning, when he finally seeks to enact whatever grand plan he's been hatching, I think he's going to try and turn our four nations against each other. In the confusion with all the knowledge, or the lack of knowledge, no one's going to know who to blame when the monsters attack. All those monsters they've been creating, where the witches came from. And they're going to start blaming each other. It's only going to speed along Dargol's destruction. So everyone needs to be aware of what's happening. So that way, if and when this happens, we can fight together.
I agree.
I am sorry I'm leaving the front lines, but as my brother would always say, a king does not belong on the front lines. It
Sorry?
is not. Okay. He says, I would much rather be on the front lines, and I regret to be leaving, but as my brother would always say, a king should not be on the front lines. A king is more useful, letting his army stay there. I still don't know if I fully agree with that, but for now, I think it might be best to act like a king for once. But I do thank you, Arctic. You and your friends and your family. I've had a wonderful time here, despite the circumstances. And he rests a towel on your shoulder. And I, as well as your father, am exceptionally proud of you. Know that when this is all over, if you'd like, you can come to Alithia and study magic with some of our high mages. You could learn much.
Now that's a nice offer.
You will always be welcome within the royalty of Alithia. I'd offer you my name, but I feel like Darren might be a little upset about that. He turns back and says, look. And as you look out, you see the sun begin to rise. The light shining across the forest and the trees of this area. There's nothing I love more than watching the sun rise on an airship. It's the most serene and relaxing feeling to me. Which reminds me, you have an interesting relationship with Villaji and Titan.
Yeah, definitely do.
I was wondering what you thought of them, truthfully.
I was afraid of telling you when I first got here about my relationship with Villaji,
Right.
as you are an Azamar and one really trusts her and does her bidding, and thinks of her as someone as a your god, right?
He nods. Also, I just remembered,
Well,
thank God I wrote down who his celestial parent is. I was so worried I forgot to write that down.
Villaji tried to bind me when I just regained my Azamar. I had a sort of dream where she was chaining me and pulling me to do her bidding, and I broke out.
Hmm.
I broke her chains, and I stood and walked away from her.
I assume that's the reason why for so long you could switch your appearance between your Asmarian features and your human features.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's not easy to explain the will of gods. They are quite fickle, and they are flawed, like all beings. But I hope that in time you come to see the goodness of Villaji. She is quite kind to mortals. She makes crops grow. She gives us trees of which we take their lumber and build our structures. And she is mother to the race you know as villagers. She is a creator of life. And though she is still flawed, we still need her. And even though I've had my own difficulties growing up in Azamar, I cannot cast hatred towards her. But I understand that, like in most things, your experiences are different from mine. And I will not hold it against you.
I do not hate Villa, not have anything against her. The only reason that I broke out of her grasp and did not wish to be her servant is not because I had any feelings towards her, but, well, you can imagine what an experience becoming Razmar, and that was the only choice I had.
He nods.
As for Titan, I think he's a terrible father.
He laughs again. Yeah, he laughs like quite loud at that. And so did Ken. Ken tries to like hold back his laughter, like he's not even there. And Asha says, "Oh, I know. I never would have even expected it. The last thing Titan is nurturing. Oh my, I couldn't believe it when I heard it.
Well, I don't like him.
Well said.
He's quite a character. There are things that are inspiring in him, of course. He is tough and powerful and strong-willed, like no other. He has a strange fondness.
And stubborn like a rock.
Yeah, he has a strange fondness for Austin, just just like everyone seems to have. Not for me. Um, and that's why I don't really think that is for me, or uh, um,
Titan
it's-
values strength and confidence in one's abilities over all else. And I can think of no one on this ship who is stronger and has more confidence in their abilities than Austin. Truthfully. And Ken's like,
damn,
well,
really?
and Ken's like, well, I don't know about that. He's like, well, you'll be leaving
Yeah, me
soon.
neither. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, Austin definitely exhibits traits that are found favorable in champions of Titan. So perhaps that is the reason Titan favors him. But you
well.
value intellect a bit more than brute strength, and perhaps that is something that Titan feels is. Yeah. He would much prefer to see you bang your head against a rock than decide to walk around it. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that makes him the fact that you said that makes me kind of like if that was possible. Anyway, as you can tell, I don't really like him. He is, yeah, his brute strength, his fondness for brute strength is gonna kill him one day.
You'd be surprised.
I'd be surprised.
During the Mayflower Accord, he was the one who defeated most of the other Celestials in battle. He was truly formidable in
Well,
battle.
yeah, I do not doubt that he can defeat other Celestials. Out of every Celestial I've met, they were all meatheads who had nothing but strength going for them.
There are a few like that. My Celestial parent, Farah, is much more intelligent, much more graceful.
Well, then I bet Farah could overpower Titan. If she...
Unfortunately, I don't know. Though it would be quite strange for Farah to ever challenge Titan. There would be no reason for it.
Well. Yes. So, what is it you called me?
Well, this conversation, for starters. And also, I thought it would be nice to watch the sunrise with you. This is... Please, I hope this is not too forward or too strange, but... In all my lifetime, I've never even once considered having children. But if I did, I would want them to be just like you. And Artem, you hear a voice behind you say, "Aw, that's so sweet."
I turn.
Okay. Oh great, I want to see Ariana's message. Oh, nice. It's their goal! Roll initiative. I'm kidding. I'm sure no one would be surprised. Yeah, it's reduced. Roll initiative. No one would be surprised. Not a single person would be surprised if it was Medusa.
I definitely wouldn't.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why it's not. But boy, wouldn't that be funny, because you guys would just roll your eyes like, oh my god, I'm quitting this campaign. I have to try to be a little more unpredictable, because Ariana predicts literally
23.
everything. I was kidding about the initiative, but nice roll.
Oh, okay. Damn. Great.
I mean, you might want to roll initiative here in a second, so I'll let you keep that roll, but let me tell you what you see first.
Alright, go ahead.
It just depends on how you react to this.
Alright, I just want to hold on before you say this. I just want to make sure that it was apparent that when Halaster said that, Arctic immediately huge grin slowly growing, and when that person said that from the back, it immediately went back a frown, because even before I turned around, I'm just so used to it being someone
Someone you're gonna have to
not
fight.
someone I want to hear.
Yep.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay. You see a 6 foot tall woman with flowing green and golden robes covered in vines and fine golden jewelry, with shining emerald gems set into her pale skin that reflects the morning sunlight, almost like a mirror. It seems to give her a sort of glow. And Ariana, can you shut the fuck up for 2 seconds?
Sorry.
I am not even done the description before you've got your fan theories in the chat.
Sorry.
You're correct,
She's allowed
by
to
the
have
way.
her fan.
Yeah, but she
course
can
I'm
wait.
correct.
She can wait before she blurts it out. Like, I wasn't even done describing it. And then all of a sudden, it's like, you want to be the first one in class to have the right answer.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't even bother to raise your hand. You're just like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
Just like,
Continue.
I love your enthusiasm, but chill.
Okay.
Yes, Artem, you can recognize this woman from your last encounter, and this does seem to be the mortal guise of Velagi, the goddess of nature, among other things. And she's just standing there behind you, with hands folded in front of her, with a smile. And,
Okay.
what do you
Who
do?
are you?
Hmm?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, don't you recognize me? I know it's been some time, but surely
Do
you
I?
haven't forgotten. Yeah, you do.
Oh.
You can tell. Like, she kind of gives off a pressure, like that is not mortal in any capacity. Like, even when you were around other Celestials, they still... It took you a minute before you could tell, oh, that's a Celestial. This is nothing like that. This creature seems to have almost a gravity to them. Plus,
Got
you've
it.
seen Velagi before, though in a different cast. But similar enough. Now, as a better descriptor for this woman, I kind of imagined her as like a cross between the human form of Midna and like a druid. If you can kind of imagine something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So she got kind of like a longer face and like defined features, but still quite beautiful, and very tall. Tallness is usually a sign of power among Celestials and Celestials who take human forms.
Right.
Yeah, and she's just standing there,
All right.
smiling.
Right. I kind of stand up straight a little bit.
As you stand up straight, you hear boom, boom, and you kind of turn and you see that Ken is just like on the ground, hands and knees, head like touching the floorboards, and Halaster has taken a knee.
Okay.
That his head is down, and they say nothing. What do you do?
What could we have possibly done for you to presence?
So she says, well, I came to see you.
To see what?
To see you.
I nod.
Tell me how you're feeling right now. And this is not Velagi, this is me, the GM. I want to know how Arctic feels right now.
How Arctic?
Yeah.
Um,
And there is no deception on this. Tell me how he feels.
kind of. Well, there is a little bit of fear, a bit of like kind of pride because she did come to see him, and that's pretty cool.
A little bit.
There's a lot of just pure thoughtfulness. Like this whole day, Arctic has been the previous day. Arctic has been contemplating the and like the future and what they're gonna have to go through. Every day, something seems to go wrong, and he's about that a lot. And so to him, this is kind of like a Well, the next thing to go wrong, I guess. He's expecting bad news to come out of her.
You see Valanji
So
smile.
he's slightly on guard.
Yeah, you see Valanji's smile fade into a guiltful frown. I'll let you roll insight if you want.
Yes.
And just for the record, for anyone listening, and for you guys as well, I'm not gonna bother rolling anything, and there is no sheet for Valaji, because as I've read on many forums, you just don't stack god characters because it just doesn't work in this format. So I'm not going to. The GM, will decide everything, like what a number would get you, and I'm not going to bother having them roll any kind of contested checks, because in no universe could any mortal roll a passing check against a god. Like, unless, like, it's a crit, and even then, it's, like, still, like, the god would roll, like, 10 times whatever the final number result would be. So, at that point, you would only get, like, critical bonus. So, I'm going to decide whether or not I think it's good enough. So, just for the record. So, with a 12 insight, not the best, but it's fine.
Is this worth critting on?
You might want to save it for later. There will be
Okay,
much to come.
then I will.
It's a pretty powerful. I find that you've blown that in the beginning of a session a few times already. The only time I think you've ever used it in an appropriate time was when you used it against that Ender dipshit, which I thought was awesome, by the way, even though it didn't work. So you might want to hold off on it. So, with a 12, you get the sense that there's some shame there. There's some shame on her face, and she's sad that you're not happy to see her, but she knows that she shouldn't have expected it.
Wait, what was she expecting? You cut out. Sorry.
She wanted you to be happy to see her, but she expected that you wouldn't be.
Okay.
So she says, I came to check on you, to see how you're doing. You don't seem
Alright.
well.
I don't seem well?
You don't seem well.
Well, a lot of stuff has happened.
A lot of stuff does happen. You and your friends seem to have the busiest lives of the mortals. Constantly fighting, being challenged. You have a great fate against you now.
Yeah. It's not something that I would wish on anyone.
So, today, I was hoping that I could ease your mind a little bit. I have a few things in mind that I think you might need.
You want to use my mind?
No. She looks very concerned. That's not what I meant. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. No, I want to give you some things. To ease you in this time. If you'd accept them.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so first one, she snaps her fingers and like a boom, like there's an explosion, like point blank explosion, like a flashbang, and like you're like blinded by it. Actually, roll a con save.
Yes.
Just to see how much this affects you.
Let's see.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned music, because I would have loved to have music for this, but I'm just gonna put it in post.
19.
Oh,
Right on
nice.
the other side.
You're fine.
Good. I just want to stand.
Yeah, you stand your ground
Really
perfectly
wavering.
fine, but it's definitely
Yeah.
like a concussive force. Like you got hit with a terror blast. And when the light fades, that you see standing next to Valaji, arms crossed, almost like a kid being yelled at by his parents. Like when you go to the neighbors and it's like, tell them what you did. You see Titan is standing next to Valaji. And he just looks like he doesn't want to be there. And Valaji's just got this big smile on her face, like, and she's just like looks to you, and then looks to Titan, looks back to you, and then she elbows Titan in the arm, and it looks like he broke his arm. And he's just like, yeah, no, she barely touched him too. It's just like you can't imagine the power behind a tap from Valaji, but clearly it was like a lot because Titan was staggered by it. And he says, Arctic? Just kind of awkwardly nods to you. I want to apologize to you for my behavior.
How sincere?
Wait, what was that? Cut out.
How sincere is?
Oh, you can roll an insight.
Oh yes, I will.
Hope you're gonna enjoy watching him suffer, because he's gonna be there for a second.
16.
Okay. I'd like to go back to that analogy I said, where like the kid, like where you take your kid over, like your kid broke the neighbor's pot, and then you drag him over to their house to apologize and confess what he did. So he's being truthful in the sense that he probably does feel a little bad, but he never would have admitted it if like Big Mom didn't tell him to confess what he did. So there's a little remorse, but he never would have admitted it under normal circumstances.
Got it.
Clearly, you can see this is Big Mom enacting the will of literally the God's will on him. And he says,
Got it.
He says, I shouldn't have taken away your power, and I shouldn't have yelled at you and told you those things. Ariana, please, I'm trying to do a thing. You're distracting me.
Oops.
Damn straight, bitch! How dare you? No. He says, I should have been more supportive and helpful, and I shouldn't try and change you into what I think is good, because you're good the way you are. Yeah, and then you look back to Valaji, and she's got this big smile on her face, like looking at you, like trying to gauge your reaction to this.
That's so cute.
Like she thinks this is like the best thing ever, but it's
She's the peacemaker. She's like, problem
there's
solved,
a
right?
bunch of
Right?
awkward tension in the air, clearly. And then Halaster and Ken are still there, waiting to be told what to do.
Yeah, that's pretty.
They've
Funny, I like that.
not moved
Right.
like whatsoever.
If anybody is rolling any kind of insight check on me, they can tell that I'm shit at this because
That you're what?
I'm enjoying the shit out of this, but I do not show it.
Okay. Yeah, Titan and Valaji obviously both realize that, but they both come to different conclusions. So Titan's just scowling, and Valaji's just really happy still. She's like, "Yeah, he likes this," and Titan's like, "Fucking, he's enjoying this, isn't he? Can't believe him, smug piece of shit."
I look back.
You're like, what?
I look back to Valaji,
Okay. She says,
and I say,
"Oh, yeah."
"Yeah." Oh, go ahead.
No. No, please, you.
No, I'd rather her start speaking too.
Well, I just thought
Go
you were
ahead.
I thought you were just looking at her too, like for her to say something. I didn't know you wanted to say something to her, so I
Yeah,
just didn't want to be
yeah.
awkward
I
pause.
wanted her to say something, but I thought that you wouldn't talk from her
You look to
without
Vajin and
me prompting her.
she says, well, what do you think?
I appreciate the gesture.
He says, I'm trying, all right. Look, I'm sorry, all right. I get that we don't exactly have the best relationship, but it's it's been difficult for me as well. You know, you obviously don't understand what it's like to be in my position. All right? There are reasons I did what I did, all right? And I only did the things I did cuz I wanted you to be get stronger from it. So I thought that it would make more sense, and I thought that, I thought that Excalibur would be able to help, and he was unhelpful. Uh,
I want to turn my whole body to Titan, and I want to say, I I understand that you were trying to make me stronger, and sure, maybe when you were doing it, but next time, don't if you don't know how to parent.
Uh.
And also, I will never get stronger in the way that you want me to. I do not wish to be someone who only their brute strength and power in combat to defeat their enemy. I wish to make my enemies my friends and make those who cannot become my. I want to defeat them in a way that is both easiest, fastest, and can cause the least losses. And that way is never head on. And until you understand that I'm the way, well, we're gonna have to go our separate directions.
and he says, then let me offer you this. If you would like, you can be rid of me forever. If you want, you don't have to be an Azamar of Titan or Valaji or anything like that. You can become fallen, and you would never have to be associated with us.
That is not what I want.
It is an option I wanted to present to you. You would still keep most of your abilities and nothing would really change, but you wouldn't have to be associated with anyone.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you telling me a different option a different path that you do not wish me to. That is a step in another direction, and I appreciate you saying that. And I will consider it, but I will not take that path yet.
You can roll an insight check.
Okay.
You can glean on his face some shame. There's definitely some shame there and a lot of guilt. And so he doesn't think that he'll ever be able to be a father or to even earn back your favor. And so he's just saying, if you want, you don't have to be associated with me. No one has to look at you as the Celestial of Titan or the Azamar of Titan anymore, and you can just be yourself without any attachments. And so he wanted to offer that to you because he doesn't think he'll ever be able to make up for what he did. And you also
Damn.
don't, and you don't think he's also just talking about what happened like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's probably talking about my birth. Fucking asshole.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that was his fault, as far as you know.
Yeah, that's why the comment about him learning about parenting before having a child should have definitely stung. That was the point. All right. I turn back to Vlad.
Did you want to know? Did you want to know
What?
about your birth? I know Titan recalls the story very well. And if you'd like to see him
Yes.
squirm while he tells it, well, that's part of why he's here. And she gives like a
No,
she gives like a sneer, like just like looking at
say-
Titan, like, yeah, I'm milking this, I'm making you suffer.
I say, maybe not in front of these people, and maybe a different time. As right
Oh,
now,
of course.
I am.
Oh, if you would like them
I
to
already
leave,
have-
they can be gone in an instant. She snaps her fingers and both both of them disappear, just like
I
pop.
say, oh, God
Oh,
damn it! Where?
oh, do you
where
not
are
want
they?
that?
Where- Well,
Just,
I
just
hope
tell
he
me what
doesn't
you
kill
want.
them.
Well, no, of course not.
They're. Yeah.
I don't plan
that's
on
fine.
I don't plan on hurting anyone here. Let's make that clear right now. She looks like very concerned, like she's just like doing like gesturing to you, like I don't plan on hurting anyone. I'm just trying to do what you want.
Got
if
it.
you I'll bring
Well,
them back if you want.
What is it you want from me right now? Why did you come here?
I don't want anything from you. I just came here because I was worried about your well-being.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that he is here, and I appreciate you helping me with that. It's a nice gesture. Now, everything he said, that's enough for me.
Well, I also wanted to know something else on that regard. Did you want to meet her? Your mother?
She's alive?
She's not. She's alive and well. But she doesn't know your fate. And I know that your adventures are going to lead you into danger. And I thought that maybe it might be nice to meet her. It's completely up to you. I don't want to pressure you into anything. I just wanted to offer.
What
No.
happened to her?
She looks at Titan.
After.
Do you want him to tell you, or should I?
Him.
Titan is just rubbing the back of his neck. She went back to her work. Well, now she owns it, but she used to work in a general store in a town. It's called the Wicker Basket. It sells all kinds of goods. The town it's now called Forge Town, but it used to be called Jameson Town. Before
What?
before I showed up.
What did you do?
You said you didn't want to hear the story, so unless you changed your mind.
All right. Well, now that everyone's gone, let's. But don't. You don't need to go into detail. All right.
It was about 21 years ago. there was a group of tiefling bandits. They were going around smashing up villages, killing people, and they broke a couple shrines. And I getting pretty mad about it because none of the humans, none of the people could do anything about it, and I wanted to smite them. The locals of that area, they couldn't stop them. Most of them just died trying. And so I asked Valaji. I said, Valaji, would you allow me to smite them with holy fire? She told me no. She said that we do not meddle in the affairs of the mortals. She said there was one way I could stop them, but I would have to take mortal form and go down there and risk dying as a mortal form. So I decided that it would be worth it. There was no way they could kill me, I was sure. So I went down, took a mortal form, and I went off to stop them just before they got to Jamestown. Right on the edge, I confronted them, and I slaughtered them. That is the moment when I should have left. I should have left then, after I had done what I wanted. But I was arrogant. I took the corpse of their leader, and I strolled into the center of Jamestown, and I laid him on a spike, and I called out my deeds. I said, I have saved your town. I have saved your town by the good graces of the celestial Titan. If you wish to honor him, you should build a forge in his name, for he is the reason you've been spared. And I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that, but I can't change it now. And so the denizens of the town, they came out, and they tried to congratulate me. They tried to celebrate me, and I decided that I was already here, so I would take them up on their hospitality. I ate and I drank and I laughed and I enjoyed myself. I hadn't ever done this before, so I thought, why not enjoy it while it lasts? Soon I would return home and everything would be fine. And then the worst thing happened. I met your mother. You see him like really struggling at this point. He's like just like grabbing the back of his head. Yeah, exactly. He's grabbing the back of his head and he looks really like, like he doesn't want to talk about this, and like Valaji just kind of like gives him a look like, keep going, you're not done. And he says, and I fell in love with her. We spent a long time together.
At this point, Arctic's eyes expand, and he can clearly tell that I'm very surprised that he said that.
I was a fool. And she became pregnant. I didn't know what to do. What was I supposed to do? I didn't know. So I am a celestial of forging, of fighting, of dying in battle. I am renowned across this world with warriors. I am supposed to be Valaji's iron shield. Nothing penetrates me. I am her defensive shield. And if people found out that I had a moment of weakness, they could exploit it. I didn't want a crack in my shield. I felt I couldn't if I was to protect Valaji. And so I revealed myself to her. I showed her my power. I told her who I was, and I demanded that the child be hidden from everyone and that no one knows. I told her that she would leave the child to die, and that would be the end of it. I would return, and I would try and forget. But fate has a funny way of working out. Turns out, a group of adventurers found you and adopted you. In my mind, I had envisioned that you would most likely be torn apart by wolves in the woods. I never imagined they would actually adopt you.
And you were just okay with that?
I decided that I would hide your abilities away. And that if you lived as a human, it wouldn't come back to affect me. I can't change what I did.
What would you have done now? If you could go back there, what would you have?
I don't know. Clearly I made the wrong decision. But what was I supposed to do? If I could go back far enough, I would have... Maybe I wouldn't have intervened in the first place like Falaji said, or maybe I would have left as soon as I killed those tieflings, but... I'm not perfect, clearly. And all I can do now is lament my wrongdoings. I can't make up for what I've done, so I'm not even going to ask. That's why I offered you to become fallen. If you didn't want anything to do with me, I wouldn't wonder why. I still check up on her. I don't dare go there, but I still make sure she's doing alright.
Is she?
Yes. Their town is now very prosperous. Funny enough, after becoming a primarily forging town has attracted more attention, the town has grown much larger since I first went there. I am not impenetrable. I have a weakness. I fell in love. And I'm sorry.
I see. So that's what happened.
Well, there's one more detail. You weren't born on this continent. I teleported you here. You were born in a town south of the Elysian border.
Well,
So you're not even native to this place. This is
the
where
only
I thought no one
thing I
would
can
find
tell you, the only thing I can tell you is the things that you already know. That you weren't weak when you fell in love. You were weak when you displayed the ultimate weakness when you decided to sacrifice your love for your own well-being, I guess. if that's what
Valaji
it
says
is.
pride.
What does she say? You cut out.
She chimes in and she says pride. Like to add to what you're saying.
I see.
If there's nothing else you need, then I can send Titan on his way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
She nods. And Titan disappears. So, knowing that, did you want to go see her?
No, not yet. I do not want to have her find out about me only to constantly think and know that I'm in danger every waking moment. That is the worst thing to do to a mother. What did you say?
No, sorry, I was saying something.
I say. Very well, informative.
Yeah.
Thank
but
you.
I just found the continent where all these nations are again, and I just remembered the name of. You were born in the country where the orcs originally controlled, the one that invaded Alithia. I believe it's,
Damn. Okay.
yeah, I believe it's Valen.
Mhm.
Vallen. And you were born like on the, like near the border between Valen and Alithia. Funnily enough, not too far from the battlefield that you had that dream in, where
Not cool.
you could take like a few hour cart ride and be there on that battlefield. So, fun fact. She says,
awesome.
"Are you certain? I don't want to sound grim, but you are quite literally heading into oblivion. It might be your only chance. I will respect your decision, but I do want to warn you that the path ahead only becomes more treacherous, and I wouldn't want something bad to happen to you, and then you not be able to see her."
I am certain. Just the fact that she's still alive and doing well is helpful enough. I do not wish her to suffer more, knowing that I am still alive but constantly risk my life.
Very well. Her name is Alexandra, by the way. Alexandra Walker. And you look just like her. She smiles.
That's one weird name.
I don't know too much about mortal names, so it sounds right to me. But at least you know her name now.
Thank you. I might seek her out when I'm done with this. When this is all over.
I got to use most of the information I wrote down for the school. I mean, Valaji had a whole day planned where you're gonna go visit the town. It would have been cool, but yeah, okay, I just don't want to do that. That's fine. I'm kidding.
Oof.
I'm kidding. I just
Damn.
thought I'm kidding. I just thought you would want to go see her, is all. She says, well, if you don't want to do that, then I mean, I was honestly planning on, spending most of the day there and allowing you some time to catch up, or just, that was most of my plan. So now this was going to go better. This was going to go differently in my head. So now I'm thinking on the fly.
I'm notorious for not meeting expectations.
Trust me, in the ways you don't meet expectations, you differ and you go above and beyond. I am proud of what you've done and the things you've accomplished, truthfully. And
so
I also need to apologize as well.
Yeah?
I was cruel to you, and I treated you like an object, not a person. I shouldn't have done that.
Let me ask you
by all means.
Why are you why are you uh, well, making it seem, well, trying to let me know that you care about and all that? Why?
I received some advice from my brother. He said that I should treat mortals nicer, because mortals are grander than gods. And I took a long time to think about that. To think about you. And I think he's right. Neth chose to give your friend Drachma a second chance because he was amazed by him. Because he believes Drachma is something new, something strong, something that could become better than a god. I think you're like him in that way. So...
So, Lord,
What was that you cut out?
this is all about power.
Well, no, it's not. But... I just felt bad about what I've done.
That is reassuring. As a mortal, I obviously cannot tell whether you are truly speaking the truth. But I'm going to try to hope that you are. And in that case, that is very nice. It feels better and good that a god such as yourself can feel because before this day, I did not know that that was possible.
Yes, well, one of us has to. Between my two brothers, it's hard to know where they fall sometimes. Neth has some weird ideas about how mortals should behave, and doesn't even talk to us anymore. So,
Yeah, what's up with that?
unfortunately, I don't think I can tell you.
I see.
But
I
I think
understand.
you've already learned much, and I think that the conclusions you may have formed may already be correct. So, I'll leave you with that reassurance. Things are not well, and you need to be careful. It is why I offered for you to see your mother now. I worry for you, truthfully, I do. I don't think there's any mortal on this world who's in so much danger as you and your companions are. Truthfully, you have enemies on all sides, and you can never tell where they're going to strike from. And I cannot help you, outside of what I've already done. But if Neth has shown me anything, it's that you can get away with bending the rules a little bit so long as you don't cause them to break. So I hope you'll find what I've given you to be useful.
Yeah.
And on that note,
I appreciate it.
I'd like to give you something else as well.
Yes.
I told you a long time ago I wanted to know whether you would read and write in script. I don't think you knew what that meant at the time, and maybe you still don't. But it was me trying to coerce you towards power. And while I can't give you all of that, I can give you a fraction of that power. For free. No strings attached. If you will accept it.
Alright.
She approaches you.
There's no... Again, it is hard for me to tell whether you're... But... I guess... Free power? nobody can say no to, especially from a guy. I accept.
She approaches you, and she
Okay.
kind of kneels down a bit to be more eye level with you, and she goes in for a hug.
She goes, what?
She goes and hugs you.
Okay.
Now, I want to say something. There were 3 pieces of art that I wanted commissioned. Ariana achieving her Mayflower status and gaining her paladin armor. Something about Austin. And then I wanted someone to commission this moment, where you and Villaji embraced under the morning sun. I imagined it. She was going to tightly embrace you while you had like a shocked expression on your face. And I'm sad that I couldn't get that commissioned, but I just wanted to point that out there, that this was what I wanted to do. So, just putting that out
That's
there.
awesome. Okay.
So she embraces you very tightly. Not tight enough to like hurt you, but tight enough to be genuine. Like, and she says, "Truly, I am sorry for everything." And it's strange. You probably have a lot of thoughts going through your head, but I would like to imagine that one of those thoughts that goes through your character's head is that this is what a mother's embrace feels like. It's warm.
Aww.
It's very warm.
That's so cute. Okay.
And after what seems like a good long couple minutes, she squeezes a little tighter and then lets go. And then she kisses you on the forehead. And something happens. Now, I would like to tell you about a thing that I've been concocting. Now,
Ooh,
I
okay,
have
like
a
the
lot
sound
of
that.
rules. I have a lot of rules about this, and you are not going to debate with me on them. Is that clear?
Debate?
Yeah, you're not going to try and change this or try and tell me, well, this is how it probably works, because I am going to give you something pretty strong. Now.
I've already dealt with the fact that with that. Okay.
So, you have expressed a desire in the past to have the powers of creation that Austin used to have. Now,
my God.
I eventually got rid of that ability, and it was always planned, by the way. I didn't do it out of spite. I always planned for that ability to be replaced with the Sword Austin guy. That was always the plan. But you have always said that you wanted that. That was something you wanted. Like, oh man, I would break this game if I had that. And that's why you didn't. But I had always respected that Austin respected what I wanted whenever I asked him not to do something. I felt like Austin understood the boundaries, and he wasn't really gonna fight with me on if I made a ruling about something. And I appreciated that. So Austin, if you're watching this part, I genuinely thank you for being really chill and cool and not being well, that's bullshit. This ability works like this, and I'm like, no, it doesn't, because I've already told you what happens. I appreciate you not fighting me on it. So I'm giving you something similar, Artem, but it's also very different. So you will have 3 charges on this ability. At any point when someone rolls a d20, you can expend one of those charges to change fate.
Sorry, you cut out.
You have 3 charges on this ability, and
Okay.
they last a day. They're refreshed every day. And what they do is anytime someone rolls a d20, you can use one of those. You can expend one of those charges to change fate. And what that means is it means a few things. 1, it means that you can add additional effects to things. 2, you can negate the good or bad additional things that happen from natural 20s and natural ones. So, for example, when you roll a natural 1, sometimes you not only fail, but something bad happens. Like you fall prone, or someone gets an attack of opportunity. Or sometimes when someone crits, they knock you prone. Or, they do additional damage, or they avoid all damage entirely. So you can negate those additional effects and change it to like a flat 20 or like a modified 1. You know what I mean? In addition, you can cause additional things to happen. Like, you can't change the fact that the Goliath rolled a 17 to hit you, and I don't know, you're not wearing armor, so it does. But you can expend a charge and say, he hit me, sure, but he hit me and I was able to slightly parry it with my lightsaber, and so I've cut off part of his weapon, so he will have a negative to his attack rolls from now on, or he can't add his proficiency.
So it's only on
D20 rolls. It's on D20 rolls. You can partially change fate. And there's a reason this ability exists, and I want to go into that real quick. So, early on in this campaign, there are a few things you guys might remember that haven't come up since that have kind of fallen into the background. There used to be a lot of emphasis on code, script, Java used to be a thing. It was a language. And that's because originally this campaign was going to have more of a meta kind of thing going on within Minecraft, which was, for anyone random who's watching this on the internet, was what we were using at the tabletop. And so we were supposed to have more of an emphasis on Minecraft and the way Minecraft works. Originally, this would have given you abilities to like actually edit code in the game, kind of.
Sick.
Because Java is the language of the gods. The gods literally speak in code. Because this is still all technically in that world that was based off Minecraft. So, when you do this, it's like partially getting the ability to change the way the world processes the information. So you can think of it like that. And so that kind of fell off when we transitioned, when Minecraft D&D started to have more D&D instead of Minecraft. That was something that went with it, and so this is kind of a relic of that. But it's still important to the story and stuff and the lore, so it still exists. It's just something I don't focus on. You no longer get messages encoded in Java. You'll get them in like Abyssal or whatever,
Got it. Okay.
So I wanted to explain that so you had some context.
Okay, so explain the ability again in that
So, you, in the briefest of instance, you can seemingly pause time for a briefest of moments, and everything can go still, and you'll be able to see the world around you being processed in real time, and you can take the segment that you're in, the segment of the world, of the code, and you can modify it, add your own little twists and tweaks to it. Like, yeah, he hits me, but he hits me so hard he loses his weapon and is disarmed. Or, yeah, he throws his axe, and then in addition to like hitting me, it bounces off my armor, and it cuts the chandelier above, and it falls on top of him. So you can't change. You have 3 of them per day. So you cannot change fate, but you can edit the scales a little bit. So if something's going to hit you, there's nothing you can do to stop it from hitting you. But in the same way you would be able to use like Hellish Rebuke or something, you can you can have an ability that would sort of even the odds back more in your favor, even though you got hit. Something else happened that might be in your favor. So it's something that allows you to use your creativity, but it's limited in its effectiveness.
Got it.
So you cannot rewind time, you cannot pause time for an indefinite amount of time so you can reflect on your life or write a novel, and you cannot use it forever. Like, it's got charges you can expend. But it's plenty strong still, I feel, and I think that this will allow you a chance to use your creative mind in a way you wanted to use power of creation, but would have broke the game. And so again, I want to say that if I say that doesn't work like that, I want the answer to be okay, and you think of something else. I don't want to have a half-hour fight about it.
Of course, makes sense.
And if you don't push me back, I won't push you back, and we can be more lenient about things. But if you're constantly trying to do something that like is pushing the edge of your thing, and I'm like and I'm just thinking like, how does that even work? And like it really just sounds like you're trying to cheat. I'll be less lenient. But if I don't think you're trying to do that, and you're like being really cool about it, and I like what you're doing, then I can start being more lenient. I don't want to be a warden here. I want everyone to express themselves, but I also want the game to function correctly because I am what you would call a war gamer.
Got it.
So, with all that context out of the way, back to the game.
All right.
You are instantly aware of this ability and how it functions. The knowledge just floods into your brain like a flasher of being plugged into a computer. Just like dun, dun, dun.
Wow.
Oh, I've already scanned all the files. No viruses.
Okay. Cool.
Well, what do you think?
What is this power?
It's partially, but think of it like the power of the gods. The power to foresee things and change them. It's something I feel that you and your friends like to do already. So hopefully this can help you in that. You can't directly change, but in some ways you can change it, and that might be all you need. It's less powerful than what you would have had if things had gone the way I wanted to back then, but I don't want that now. I was wrong to try and chain you like that. I was wrong to try and force you to be what you're not. So don't think of it like that, but this is all I can give you. I would want to give you so much more, but things are changing, and that's all I can do.
I understand.
I'm glad.
I appreciate it.
And I know that you understand. You're very smart. If there's nothing else, I can take my leave. But if you have anything else you want to say or ask or do, by all means.
Will I be able to speak to you again?
Perhaps not like this. But if you pray, I will hear you. I understand that you are not acquainted with the faith, but I will be listening for you.
All right. Thank you.
It's the least I could do.
What would you say?
It's the least I could do.
Well, I appreciate it. It means a lot. Not every day you have a god come down to help someone.
Well, I don't think I did much helping, but I hope that I cleared some things up, and I hope that your mind is a little less unburdened now.
Yeah. Helpful. Definitely knowing that my mother and with this power, it gives me back some much needed hope.
I'd like to believe you can do it. If there's anything I've learned from watching you, it's that when you and your friends work together, you can do extraordinary things, and I do believe you can change fate in ways that not even the gods can. because you are not shackled. You're free. And truthfully, that makes me more happy than I've been about anything. Goodbye. And she just kind of dissolves into light and is gone.
Okay.
And then you hear a pop, pop. What happened? And you just you see that Halaster and Ken have come back into reality. Ken is wielding his sword, just like looking around, and Halaster looks like he's ready to cast spells. And they're just like looking
hey,
around.
Dudes.
What happened?
Everything's fine.
Okay? Is it?
Yeah.
This is
What
Ken
happened
talking,
to
by
you
the way.
guys?
Is it fine? Is it fine?
What
He
happened?
grabs you and like
What
shakes you a
happened?
little bit.
What happened to you guys?
I don't know. We
What
were
do you mean?
we were like in a place of pure whiteness. There was nothing. There wasn't even an echo.
At least you guys were together. I was just talking to Valaji.
Yeah. What's up with that?
You know, perks of saving the world.
I mean,
I give him finger guns.
he looks bewildered. Like who are you? Really? Like,
Well, I mean, hey. I'm Halaster, and I get serious for a second, and I say,
yeah, he looks stressed and he says,
hope-
yes.
I hope this. You know, I know you guys already knew, but I hope this will make you understand a little bit more about what's at stake.
Of course. Are you okay?
Yeah, she was helping me out with telling me about my mother and my heritage. She even gave me new power.
Oh, really? That was nice of her.
She felt sorry for treating me the way she did in the past, and she came to apologize.
What? Ken looks so confused and still bewildered. Like, what is happening? Who is this like prophecy kid in front of me? Like, I thought he was just a forgotten Azamar, and now he's like talking to Valaji like he fucking. He looks like, what the fuck?
I say,
He's-
anyway, well,
I'm
you
gonna
guys ready
go-
for lunch?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, you know what? Well, it's breakfast, but I'm gonna eat breakfast. Like, I'm gonna go do that. And Ken just like marches down the stairs like, I'm gonna go eat breakfast because I don't want to think about what's happening with the world right now. Like, I don't even know what's what.
I wave Halaster over and I'm like, yeah, let's breakfast we can have with Ken, right? We should
yes.
probably do.
If you would like, he could join us.
He could what?
He could join us.
Alright. Sounds good.
All right. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that that even if you weren't a part of this campaign and you stumbled across this by happenstance, you thought it was kind of enjoyable. There's so much missing context here. I can't imagine what it would be like to listen to this with no context. But the goal here is just experimenting for the most part. This is honestly really cool. I've never edited anything like this before. I took a long time to like edit down some of my mistakes in the recording. I went through and I took out some pauses and some things that just don't contribute to the overall session audio. And then it was really fun to put this all together and you know, make a whole thing out of it. Honestly, I would love to do more things like this. I think that if I ever do a one-shot, I will most likely record it and do this with it. But I don't think I'm gonna record any more sessions unless it's what happened this time, where a player couldn't make it to a session, but I didn't want them to miss important details. So unless that happens again, which it might in the future, I don't plan on doing this again, but we will see. So to any of my players who are actually watching to this point, I hope that it was enjoyable. And Austin, if you make it to this part, I want you to message me that God, what do I want you to tell me? Just something to prove you watched all the way to the end. I want you to go ahead and message me that that run was fucked. You should have just reset after Mangs got 1 point of luck on his first level up. Something like that, just so I know that you actually watched to the end. But to anyone else, yeah, I just hope this was interesting and enjoyable, and I hope the little edits I did throughout were entertaining, because I added a few little things of my own that I thought would be funny. I don't know if anyone heard this. I hope you did. But when Artem gets a sending, I played like the first 4 seconds of Megalovania to indicate that he got a message. I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, with that being said, I hope everyone has a good day, night, whatever it is for you. And give this video a like, because I liked it. Bye.